I had a dream from God, and in the dream it was the kids program, Hey Arthur, and his little sister was she was made to lose her virginity in the like that's what she was like willing to do. And I don't really remember the details. I've just like written down his little sister losing her virginity, and then after that it went on to two men caressing each other, and then there was another two men. And this was actually given to me, like, I believe over a year ago. I wasn't doing YouTube at the time, and this was before I was really aware of all the LGBT that they're pushing within the schools. But I really wanted to get this out there, and just to warn you, if you're not aware, to really be mindful of what your children is watching, and not to let them watch Hey Arthur. You may not have actually seen any Hey Arthur where they have done it, where this has actually taken place, but it's definitely something that they're pushing. It may not be exactly like that, but the main point is that through the cartoons and through the children's program, they're actually trying to sexualize our young children. They want to get them sexually active from a young age. I don't know how old his sister is, but she looks really young. I haven't seen it in years, but from the last time I remember, I'm sure she's probably only like 6 or 7, or maybe younger. And this is the thing, that the enemy has no age limit. Like, if he could get your 7-year-old daughter sleeping around, then he would absolutely do that. That's what he wants, and it is really sick and really sad. But the main point is, he really wants to get people messed up and to take them away from God. Or when they get older, they've been through so much that they think that there isn't really a God, or how could God love them when they've been through so much. And that's what he wants. He really is after our praise, after our worship, and after our souls. He doesn't want us to have everlasting life. He wants us to go with him into the lake of fire. So we really have to protect our children. It's not just Hey Arthur, all kids programs, they're really even the ones, sadly, some of the ones that are like aimed for Christians, they're not really good, because, well, there's like false teaching in there, and I mean, I personally haven't seen anything that's really to do with like exposing kids to the LGBT community, or exposing them to like to do with like sexual experiences. But it could be out there. It wouldn't surprise me at all, because a lot of the things that are taking place on TV, and they're just putting a Christian title on it, is really nothing to do with Christianity, or like it's so far from the truth. And that's the way that the enemy works. If he was to just come with a blatant lie, our guards would be up. So he mixes truth with lie. He's been doing it from the very beginning in the Garden of Eden. And so that's what he would do to try and get us to have our guards down. That's why we really have to study the word to show herself approved, a workman needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, so that when he does come with well, if he's got a little bit of error, it's never truth. But when he comes with like error mixed in, something that was originally true before he tainted it, then we would be aware, because we have the words in our hearts, and because we have studied the word, that we're able to separate truth from error. But little children, they're unaware, and so they rely on us to protect them, just like God protects us from a lot of things that we are unaware of. I mean, we give glory for like things that he has done, but there's so many things that we are unaware of, so many evils that he has kept us from in the day and the night while we sleep. And that's why it's good even just to thank God for the things that we are unaware of, that he's protected us from. And our children don't realize the dangers. Some of them, depending on what age they are, in terms of them becoming aware, it's all different for different children. But even in terms of that awareness, them coming into it, they're really being taught by us. I don't remember where I was listening to I think it was a podcast, and it was saying more is caught than is taught. This wasn't even like somebody who necessarily was a Christian. It was something to do with like, I think, health or something like that. And they were saying how children learn more from what they see than what are taught, and that's why the government doesn't really mind children. They say, oh yeah, you parents can tell your children whatever they want at home, like if you don't agree with LGBT, but that's because they know that more is caught than is taught. So yet the parent is saying something, but then when they're seeing different things, when they're reading the books and they're seeing it, when they're seeing it in the schools, when they're being constantly bombarded with it, even with the images that you just see in the streets, then that's what they're catching, as opposed to just what you're telling them. And so you're telling them one thing, and that's why sadly you see children that when they get older, that they're confused still. They grew up in a Christian home with Christian parents, and they leave the church, they're confused because they was exposed to things that we should have protect them from. And that's why I really encourage homeschooling as well, which I'll leave for another video. But we definitely have to protect our children from the evils that is out there, protect them from the false doctrine that is out there. But this video was really just focusing on kids programs, to not allow your children to watch it subliminally. There's so many messages out there to cause children to even explore, even to touch their own bodies, which is like a sin in itself, for self-stimulation, for and it's exposing them to pornography in the images that they have in the kids program. Even I saw there was an advert for like a Haribo or something like that, and even the way they made one Haribo fit into another, it was subliminal of a man entering a woman. I just thought, my gosh, like, do you just not, like, is there anything that doesn't have any type of sexual reference to it? It's just like everywhere. It's so sick, and it really is sad. And I feel so sorry for our children. I'm just like crying out for them, because yeah, the enemy really is after them. He knows to change a nation, you really want to start with the children, because then when they grow up, they're going to be the people who's in a power, having authority. And if they're believing that these things are right, then that's the type of laws that are going to be passed. And we see that happening right now. And that's what he'll do, little by little by little, from generation to generation to generation. He'll change customs, change laws. And that's why we have to protect our children. We have to protect the next generation, and really have to guard their hearts. Even stuff like prams, I definitely believe it's best to have a pram where they're facing you, because when they're facing like the outside world, again, they're having more exposure to the stuff that is out there that is not of God. But that's like, I've got even some statistics about the way that children feel compared to facing their parent, to facing like to not facing their parent. There was some statistics that I saw that I will leave for something else. But yeah, please just keep seeking God and continue protecting your children and loving them so much. And they definitely, you know, crying out for our attention, for our love, and they definitely need our protection. Yeah. Thank you.